A very warm welcome to our cherished viewers watching us live on Pinax TV. Information reaching our desks is that right now in Burkina Faso, there is an attempted coup that has failed and has led to a whole lot of riots in Burkina Faso as we speak. This is coming from the security minister of Burkina Faso, and BBC has reported this information, and then right now it has got a lot of people talking. Some are saying this is false, some are saying this is true, but coming from BBC, that is telling us the intensity of the issue at Burkina Faso as we speak. A lot of people are saying that is Captain Ibrahim Traore safe? How are people going about their daily activities in Burkina Faso as it stands now? Is this an attempted murder or an attempted assassination on the life of Captain Ibrahim Traore? A lot of conversation is coming up after this information was released on the internet, saying that there is another attempted coup. And mind you, this is not the first time we are experiencing or we are hearing of a coup ever since Captain Ibrahim Traore's government or military took over government in Burkina Faso. There have been several attempts to overthrow him, and it has brought a whole lot of controversies and issues. This time around, it is being alleged that a former military officer, a Burkina officer, apparently who served as an interim president for a few months, say 8 months, is behind this particular coup. And it is being alleged that he staged this coup through someone, and then at this point the individual who led the coup or the military personnel that led the coup has been arrested together with some other suspects, and this has brought up a lot of conversation. As I'm talking Faso, Ouagadougou to be precise, people supporting Captain Ibrahim Traore are so eager that they decided to stay in Ouagadougou to protect Captain Ibrahim Traore from being overthrown by these unknown men. So as you can see on the screen, it says plot to kill Burkina Faso leader Ford, says Wanta. So you can see that this is just 6 hours ago from BBC, and that shows that this is not a lie, as people are peddling it on the internet, that they've not gotten any official communique from the Burkina Faso government. And as it stands now, some of the reasons why people are saying that there is no official release from Burkina government as it stands now is because it has been alleged that ever since Captain Ibrahim Traore took over government in Burkina Faso, there's been a crackdown of the media. The media is not really active like it used to, so it has become more difficult for this information that happens or issues and certain things that takes place in Burkina Faso to be let out to the public for the public to know. But it has been alleged that the operators of this particular coup decided to target one or two key organizations in the central of Burkina Faso, which is Ouagadougou, so they can seize power. But due to some timely intelligence that went to the military of Captain Ibrahim Traore, they were able to seize them from going ahead with a coup and arresting these people or these suspects that are involved in this whole alleged coup. So let's see what is on the screen. It says, a plot to kill Burkina Faso's military leader, Captain Ibrahim Traore, has been thwarted. The West African nation has announced the sophisticated plan had been hatched by Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Damiba, the military officer ousted by Traore in September 2022. The security minister said in a late-night broadcast, our intelligence services intercepted this operation in the final hours. They had planned to assassinate the head of state and then strike other key institutions, including civilian personalities and Mahamadou Sana, for further alleging that the plot had been funded from neighboring Ivory Coast. There has been no comment from either Colonel Damiba or Ivory Coast. So as we can see coming from BBC, is saying that this coup allegedly is being led by Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Damiba. As I said earlier, he happens to be an interim president of Burkina Faso. Says since seizing power, Captain Traore has faced at least 2 coup attempts and is also grappling with growing jihadist violence that has forced millions from their homes. Despite these challenges and his authoritarian reputation, that 7-year-old military leader maintains strong popular support and has gained following across the continent for his Pan-Africanist vision and criticisms of Western influence. So, Colonel Damiba, yes, as I said earlier, right now all hands are pointing to him that he, together with Ivory Coast, the neighboring country of the Burkina Faso, led or staged this coup. But unfortunately, it didn't progress or it didn't go on. And as we can see here, it says, according to the security minister, the authorities uncovered a leaked video showing the plotters discussing their plans. In the footage, they allegedly spoke about how they intended to assassinate the president, either at close range or by planting explosives at his residence just after 23:00 local time on Saturday, 3rd January. Afterwards, they allegedly planned to target other senior military and civilian figures. Sana alleged that Damiba had mobilized both soldiers and civilian supporters, secured foreign fundings, most significantly 70 MCFA francs, that is $125,000 and £92,000 delivered from Ivory Coast, and planned to knock out the country's drone launch base before foreign forces could intervene. We are carrying out ongoing investigations and have made several arrests. These individuals will be brought to justice soon, the minister said on national television. Sana insisted that the situation was under control and urged citizens not to be misled out of naivety into dangerous schemes. It is not clear how many people have been arrested. Critics, both local and foreign, have accused Traoré of authoritarianism and say his government suppresses dissent, including arbitrary arrest of military officers and restrictions of the media. It is not the first time the junta has pointed the finger of blame about foreign interference in its affairs at Ivory Coast. So you can see that it is a lot of factors. As it stands now, it looks like Captain Ibrahim Traoré is sitting on a time bomb, because from what is being gathered here, it is seen that a lot of people, or most of the military personnel, are gradually becoming displeased with the ruling of Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Some see him to be more of an authoritarian leader, and some also seeing him to crack down the media in Burkina Faso. And I mean, when someone is an authoritarian leader, you realize that it is everything he decides and not what the people want. At least for him, he has gotten some people who are still rallying solidly behind him and ready to fight and protect him from being assassinated or from being overthrown by other military personnel, just as he did to Colonel Damiba. Damiba also overthrew the former president that was in Burkina Faso, and then 8 months after, based on one or two things, Captain Ibrahim Traoré and other military personnel preferred to take him off because they realized that he was being incompetent, his works were not enough. The reason why the overthrow was made with regards to violence and attacks, insecurity attacks that were being on the people of Burkina Faso, he still couldn't solve the issue, and that led to Captain Ibrahim Traoré taking over from him. And as it stands now, it looks like Damiba is also still not pleased with the happenings in Burkina Faso, and so quite unfortunate that he had to, according to what we are hearing, he is behind it. But then, as it is being said by BBC News, they are still yet to confirm and then bring out any information from Colonel Damiba as to whether he has an involvement in this alleged or in this coup that failed in Burkina Faso just recently, a couple of days ago, or if really it is true that the neighboring country, Ivory Coast, actually has something to do with this particular coup that took place in Burkina Faso. A lot of people are saying that Captain Traoré is not safe, looking at the number of coup attempts that has been orchestrated towards him ever since he took power, or he seized power in Burkina Faso, it is quite fortunate for him that he has people that are ready to stand in, people that are ready to protect him, people that are ready to save him. Because looking at how this coup was found out by Captain Ibrahim Traore and his team through a video that was recorded when the plot and planning and the scheming of the coup was being held, and you could see that it was really going to be a bloody and messy one. Because looking at the plans that they were having, planning to bury explosives around his house and all that, his residence and all that, could have really taken the life of Captain Ibrahim Traore. And you could see that there are a lot of international bodies that are so much interested in this whole Captain Ibrahim Traore assassination. And one thing that you should know, that Captain Ibrahim Traore has allied himself with countries like Russia, China, as it stands now, because he believes these countries are rallying solidly behind him and can protect him from all the issues, from some of these foreign issues that are going to come towards him. And it's quite fortunate for him that he got to escape this particular coup. Now let's move on to other stories. Recently, it was being reported that British boxer Anthony Joshua got involved in an accident in Nigeria that took away two of his friends. That was a very sad one. As I speak to you, the friends have been buried, and in London have paid their respect to these two friends. But then information coming up from the family of Anthony Joshua says that Anthony Joshua allegedly is going to retire from boxing after 12 years of being inside the boxing field. And this has got a lot of people talking, because as we speak, Anthony Joshua quite recently in December was in a ring and won the fight against Jake Paul. And this accident took place, and then it's like everything is changing around him. As you can see on the screen, this is Anthony Joshua has informed us he wants to retire from pro boxing, and we are in full support. He might never visit Nigeria again, Anthony Joshua's family. And this information is coming from his uncle, Joshua Ade Damola, who spoke to The Punch in Nigeria and said that he's very certain and sure that his nephew, Anthony Joshua, is going to retire from boxing after the accident that he got himself involved and sustained a few minor injuries. According to him, the family are very happy about this whole idea of Anthony Joshua retiring from boxing, because according to what he was saying, he felt like the family all the time gets emotional anytime they see Anthony Joshua in the ring trying to win a match or win a fight, and they feel like this is the best idea. At least at this point, they get to save themselves the sanity and the emotional stress of worrying about him anytime he is in the ring. But then, information that we have gathered says that prior to the accident that took place in Nigeria, Anthony Joshua had plans, serious plans, of coming back in this year, and his first match that was presumed to take place in between February and March in Saudi Arabia with kickboxing champion Rico Verhoevens. Yes, Verhoevens. It was presumed that that was the plan for Anthony Joshua. That was the next thing in line for him to take back and fight with Joshua. But unfortunately, as we are seeing, or as we are hearing, that maybe it might not come off. So as you can see, this is from Punch in Nigeria, and it says Joshua might quit boxing after car crash. Uncle, yeah, so as I said, it's Uncle Joshua Ade Damola. He was the one that spoke to Punch and made this revelation. It says former world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua is seriously considering retirement from boxing, according to his uncle Ade Damola Joshua, who exclusively told our correspondent The Punch report. The 36-year-old boxer, who survived a fatal car crash in Nigeria that claimed the lives of two of his close friends and team members, made the decision known to his family in private following last week's tragedy. The major thing there is that he has retired from boxing. That is one of the things that makes as glad, because each time he's fighting in the ring, we are always carried away emotionally. Adedamola told The Punch during a visit to the family home in Sagamu on Monday morning. Each time he's knocked down, it is just like the heart is coming out of our chest. All these emotional feelings whenever he's fighting, it's too much trauma for us. Also, now that he has said that he's leaving while the ovation is highest, we are happy. So according to the Punch report, after they spoke to Joshua Adedamola, the uncle to Anthony Joshua, this was a revelation he made, that they will be very, very happy and pleased to see that their family member, their brother, their sister, their nephew, Anthony Joshua, would quit the the boxing career. After all, it leaves them with a lot of emotional trauma anytime they see him being defeated in the ring or being hurt, being punched and all that. And it's quite traumatizing for them to take. So there's a revelation that was coming up, and you could see that it's quite unfortunate, because it is even being suspected that Anthony Joshua was meant to face his bitter rival Tyson Fury in September, yes, to have a match with him. And so if Anthony Joshua is really going to quit, the question is, what is going to happen to his fans who are very eager and who have heard the rumor of the fight he's going to have with some other boxers, and then they were looking forward to it so well that unfortunately this information is coming up from the family of Anthony Joshua. Though he's still mourning his friends, we are yet to hear from him stating emphatically and precisely that he is going to quit the football, as his uncle is saying. So right now, it looks like a lot of people really want to confirm whether truly Anthony Joshua is going to quit boxing, as being speculated or has been brought out and known to we, his fans and his followers, and to the general public, if he's really going to resign from kickboxing. And it's a very unfortunate one, because looking at it, most people are not expecting Anthony Joshua to retire so soon. Now, moving on to the next issues, there have been a lot of things happening recently in the globe, in Ghana in general, and one recent incident that took place that got a lot of people talking is about the invasion of USA in Venezuela. And when you come to Ghana, a lot of people have expressed their views, particularly when President John Dramani Mahama not to say, oh, we Ghana for Mahama, we want peace, we beg. Today, Yankasa, Yadin, and lawyer Eduji Tamaklo, but in Sendia Betuja, which says, Venezuela USA invasion. Se Ghana for Nima, it is good, say, AC. Ewa NDC amanyuko ne pension, because say see MPP pension and can be a whole lot of issues. What is lawyer Eduji Tamaklo talking about? Do
you know that if today the MPP and Co were in power, the abduction of Nicolas Maduro would have been reason for fuel prices to go up?
Sometimes this one is an exaggeration. Are you talking because of the Russian-Ukraine war that was used?
I mean, you know the narrative. You have a situation where a whole government communication setup is put, and it is Russia, Ukraine. The people who were having bombs dropped on them in Russia and Ukraine had their inflation single digits. Look at the distance from here to Ukraine. We were rather having double-digit inflation, and Russia, Ukraine were responsible for that. And so, let nobody deceive us. President Mahama, in 1 year, with thoughtful, innovative leadership, without Eurobond, had kept this economy sound. Look, Solo, do you know that as we speak today, we have not taken $1 Eurobond as we speak today, but the economy is sound?
You mean not yet?
I am saying we are looking at 1 year review. What will happen in future? Let the future decide that. But today, as we speak, we have not taken $1 Eurobond. Atto Forcing has today paid the debt he's inherited, about $709 million record. But do you know the beautiful thing about the payment Atuforsen did? He made that payment at an exchange rate of 10.5. If that $709 million was paid when NPP were in power, we were going to pay 13 billion Ghana cedis. But because today the exchange rate has reduced, come down, stabilized at 10.5, when Atuforsen paid that debt of $709 million, do you know how much he paid in Ghana cedis? A little over 8 billion. Look at the savings. That is what you get when you put competent people who are not talking to handle the economy, Dr. Zato.
Oh, why are you addressing Dr. Zato? You're addressing me, please.
No, sorry. Let me turn properly towards you.
No, I don't want my guests to.
So, ebusian for way any ensemwa a year lawyer Eduji Tamaklo. What ya tuja echemu say yet Ghana ha and Ukraine and Russia edibo ni any in Sokrata MPP for say a Russia Ukraine war. A water former a Russia Ukraine war. Bibia a Russia Ukraine war to the extent say dollar necre cost near say a dollar Russia Ukraine war is say affected and near be brainia that day. And no and a lawyer do Tomaklu Elchum say Sasemia yeking say Ghana ha say ya MPP newa bemwa and come a bra US for a coche a year Nicolas Maduro ye Venezuela for former president and ke eneya Petro Bekosro. Amoma kachire say Nicolas Maduro US President Trump akwakoche no na ama four prizes ayene akosho enti sebe yesi nipa ye ade a wosa ye the NDC for omo stabilize the dollar no say yesi dollar no the exchange rate between the dollar and the cedi 10.5 na say bebi ejina no ehye nkran esa kra na o convert sika no a o de ka dollars mu na wo convert at least untria puduo sene first net that 17 cedis ne 18 cedis ne ade no and according to lawyer Dutamaku the NDC for ebom homodin pa echembra na MPP ewo aban mu now ye gina MPP in sensem we so na ye boera eye honorable Kennedy Japan na kache one person na ye who in recent times no orally solidly behind honorable Kennedy Japan stika metre yera Steven Amwa ye who say be ake me wo bia wo ho or ye campaign the more tight because 31st January is just at the corner. Now, or the insomnia to for the first time, no, I for Jim say this message of Stephen Amwa can really woo a lot of delegates to go and vote for a honorable Kennedy Japan because ever since I will static campaign for Ken Omonte and someone Drusida a bit to me a man call for Enyatema Edama honorable Kennedy Japan Asempote Ben and as Stephen Amwa edituja Kakum Yajinko Kwen Yentien and Sema edituja.
About 97% of Mamwahe Sabe Obintin Farmer Guinea Niago. And yet the cliche, and yet the usual aha na chinchina me wo. The singular goal, the main goal, why we are here, the priority and the precedence is power. In spite of all that we do here, Sankiya nya power, kentimi anya free SHS. Ama enne oni bieba etimiba university. Sankiya nya free school. Enka yentimi anya nhyehyaya ka obi wa ha enka bia ne maame wo e bia enka obi free etini ye ka nyina na mesrɛ mo de mu bi mo betumi process data more than I do. The basis for decision and information it's normally derived from data with integrity. Etimi pamochao mamu nhwe bonku nhwe nifa me nhwe di owadi otia enye propaganda ne na ada na ade ebema MPP aban no enye tumi no muni kan hwe me na minni owurade monyamfo Kennedy Japan obi ani Menya sure abofo but obey me and say me can no kra me sure no kra ka. Se mewu no kra nti kra mewu. Sisi hesi aya na me kwa so me assemblies ne bo mesu. My politics e come fie biasa. Asante region ha na bebre abem. Anu kra nie sa ha enyame fie a enkrofo ahu mi TV so a me president Mahama no nyina debate nti enkrofo ni me. Wonam traffic ni obi agina sticker sama mfa Kennedy ama. Wonam airport no obi bo obeti sticker sama mfa Kennedy ama. Me copy say from na say just me kofa ase ho because watch for no ma me nko. Etimitri ase dwinienu. Say abawe ya beto no. Enye Kennedy ene abeto abama no. Enye Bawumia ene abeto abama no. Enye Bre Champion ene abeto abama no. Enye Aduchu ene abeto abama no. Na ye beto aba ama MPP. Etimesramo Mwana mo kira made o yesi efe bibi functions of performance. Number 1 ability. Number 2 opportunity. 3 motivation. The most important factor ability and opportunity. Without opportunity, MPP timi nyahwe. Now, for the first time in the history of this country, and a year two primaries, one number be a year body babakudi. It is all MPP ya mesramo, and yet the open assem. I thought that I made an account to be so, and yet the any person, and the any perka. And God wouldn't have built the church on Peter. As you have told me, you know, Peter the child be aso, and so on. I'm basically as well. Moses, a communipa de Michel for, and so Israel, the Padua, one and Yankopon friend. David, and Yakumobikum, and an Ereda, one and Yankopon friend. And maybe two, then Yankopas of Robi, Amanaji Pankwa, and your propaganda. Popularity, and you know. And counting a bushman for Mungo for not to be a doctor so has a bois. Is it your friends and oncology machines and then? A sack cancer near Riacasia, near here or Pepe, Obia, Canada, Japan, and what did the Sika? I to be found. Tamala teaching hospital. Come by ya and soon through all we are here, you know. Can Japan the Sika Koya and Jini Pampa 37 military hospital, one in order of in dollars, AC Cardio Thoracic Center, Akumayari, and Margot Lebano, one of friends Sikamia Kofon by politician Bianua in the history of this country. What Bianca my friend Passy Kennedy. I've been a Sunday school teacher for 14 years. And today I can say the best way to decide who to lead us is the one that we can have tangibly, credibly, a proven record. A basic presidential material. I don't know. We rather talk about presidential functions and responsibilities. And you me a member tie. I can't profit for us in those hilification. And you know me and to be Samo and the NDC here money in the graduate why away. You are never by no way. Almost with any be I know for baby. Maybe I find a jumam NDC ayinadi. Me go to Swansea. Omo yin kura and kunu adi. And then omo yin nipa tuwa emu matwe efi Kumasi. Because MPP for no you already. And the Kumasi so near dogs MPP. And then omo yin chief justice adi. Judges sitting in omo reshuffle omo don't qualify omo the nation. Omo yi hisi. Omo yi OSP. Omo fa asoja for maku edumienu. Mo ma MPP mo no. When they have power, you know what they do. They take elections by force. Said the Oma Fa Blekumanov. Said the Oma Fa Apetia. Oma Fa Pandai 88 no. Say Ababa 86. Etimisramo. Where we are today, it's not about coming 4, 5, 7 times. Now when I'm a car, no master summer no. Last 2 weeks, because I saw economy no, and yet Dr. Baumia. ewiase na say oh eni no mu huru me eno me ko kire bibi o mo mpe atendie nko a yase afra bibi global info analytics samu nyina amate o mo hwehwe mo ma ye no o se NDC depend na ya likely say ba ko be ye o mo flag bearer omo outrunning scenario ye nyere sua de omo mu bia de ho aba o betumi atuo now is it power we want me with some is it power you want it is some ebinum ho omo ni political experience ebinum so ho enye oman ni ye no mu pro. Most politicians are only interested in what they have and what they will get. Politicians, they bring omo ya Cambridge, mu de money, omo ya A level don ba kwa Boche school. Eti this is say Ghana said ya kwa afati omo. But we say say me maami akoso enya kwa bro no ma. Ontimi ntro ni di. Mo mada romanti me. Last year, countries 4 and I'm say this year me was 7. Just to go and explain my models to them. Because I solve economic problems. Miss Ramo, can I get one or two? But you'll be a Obana, we am the show. Abraba open you the body. Nami the chief financial officer, NDC Medino, on the farm of Duma, as no means support to me, a very principle. Now, Otiemi Mako 271 school fees at the tertiary level. You don't know, Bosume so no ma be salai afina me mu bi da na me feel say a leader must be somebody who can offer the services to derive the utility and the satisfaction that will cut across our social stratification. 2, a leader should be somebody who has the spirit of benevolence or giving power. 3, a leader is the one whose vision resonates with the timing. And then 110 tertiary students or 9 finish school every year within the regular period. Only 10% get job to do. Can you report and you will be okay? I say a new 7,000. I couldn't depend on nobody in Ano or be a Masi Obia. Medimanu see me boss will have one company or be a steel company. Our tama ebefa enipa apem direct job me ko ke no obi nim yisi di grass just a griko ebe man the whole station number 2 obi ti say ontwa nipa ti da omo obi asuda ebi se obi kaseti a e na ono so kaseti a obi enu nti unqualified to be president na Bible say ebuo mpo nyame betuma ebuo ehu mi o no ni pa nyankopon abono ahome nko ahome aguru mu amana ya krati asefo ye nyame nsaso wonde ontimi lidi se be Ghana Gideon Paul say awurade mabusu nyina Israel ena ye ketwa aye muno mi na ye mbumi awurade say you are the one I will use baby e du no wa ni na wa so na bompa ya emre ye wo mu eye mra nyame be nam papa yi so ayi ye fi oha mu akreti jobs ama obia ye bia ye nyankopon nsia ma bia ye medamase awurade nsia mo pa medamase.
Abusia Ayra Steven Amwa and Ayukuti in Sema with the 2 Java Honorable Kennedy Japan the achievements Niniama Waya and Nti Ehumehia say a delegates are more NPP Ebemanu Akwenya. Na ye consent for Eswa Nanwada and the Betuja say Abaya and Nancy or trendy or pressure be rise adwene bethinke ye ka ho asagidigidia akra nam no so masa nwumwe san bege hit e ma ho amanfo edi beje ho no Tracy. Na Tracy na Wendy Shay ekofa no se akola yi se be waboa no ama enwom o release da enwom na sa be hit and e mehwew na me amegu me trenu to university ni adent ene obehu Tracy nam ha na one Wendy no mo ko ha no mo ko ama se kra ye de ba ko bi kan wan se kokoshe na ye yi kokoshe ne de Tracy Shay ne won so over the weekend sister Fia program B na you say all white party or celebrating the 10 years in the industry feature big artist was one Kwame Yuji Mune Comfort Kwade Muni Ade na ye share ya Tracy Shay any dinner stage. So when I say Wendy say Shay, when I say Tracy Shay any Shay and chair any ebe say Wendy Shay abeye post bia na che say etwetwe amanfo adwen say bibi ikoso ewo Wendy Shay any akore ntemu ana is it over? And when the summer or the better I monte so that screens so say the hardest part of monitoring mentoring someone else's child is often the parent interference. What's all this? Intina amafo bradwan yo montanta se bia when did their chronicle program na se no and the parent abe react ni ade sa na che se busia ensem wo hihya adaka se ne nyesem keto am no ka say when the she ne mama she waba bonten ababe cheche nsem nimu apparently no sana ebusia ensem akoso papa sabedi se when the she any Tracy Shay omontem atete yengo tie nsem amaame no ditudwa
abuja from church obi bia ni so obi a ho ye ame adom obi a ho ye weekendi asem esi ye ena me be kabi kakra na ma kire ma dwene kakra wo ensem atwagu ye ma read the comment ni bebre before comment omo chro ye ma read bebre omo edi Wendy atemu di omo a edi Tracy ma mi atemu di one ne papa omo a edi Tracy na nkasa nso atemu nzu di na ne nyina mu no empanifo ase yen kase eye me de ya ade bia no me pe adehua wade bia ebeba mu ebi comment a omo ma no ehun na me ba be kire ma adwene ebi say na Wendy ade by force omo na de omo ma na omo so omo de awofo na de omo ba na se ne omo pese omo ye omo ba na ede na e wo se ma ne ye wo ya ebi nsusu so Wendy fa wasem ko na obi ba de ade ntire woni ni sutumi obi nso se ono na awo ne ba nti se Wendy di akola na fa ba bia enye na se awofo ne mpa awoso omutiem obi nso se awofo na omaye eyo omo no mo ba no ni nyina ye bible se mo ma ni nyina mo mu nyini na twabre ni dura onu nyame obeyi ni die wom ni enkrofo e kan ne omo kire omo adwene ni nyina no ni nyina eye but ni nyina twamfu ano ni me pasa meka e wasem we hu se panifo se obi ye opapa na wahaw sa ebe no eye emu etre bebre enye se sa atam na oye o papa no enye se ebia eye boni o nanso because of papa ye bia obi dia ye woninti obehunu se obi timi ye obibi anase asem bi esi na panyini bi di nano atum timi hwe pani no anase wotimi hwe ne wadi ubone no na waka se papa ye bia wo ye maame anase wotimi ekohia obi a wa ye o papa ba na epia wadi ubone no wahunu se wo maame ne mama she papa bia mama she ye ameninti no ne ba no de a me de a chew anunti na yesi obi ye o papa no wa hawo ne mo ka se eye maame no ono ane ba o petimi di na ye bibibia o peye maame ne papa ye na wofo no eye no kore nanso mpanimfo se enam dua so na homa ehunu so edinka efe se bia akwara no wanya show bi na okwakobo a na obo eye ne godmother amania enka ensehwe abusuafo mo nka hunu se yesi se obi do na opɛ wasɛm a ɛna ɔyɛ den ɔto bɛti ɛno nti no bɛhwɛ na edin ɛwɔ nsunsuaso as far as awafa hye na to ho so ne de ɛwɔ sɛ wo hunu sɛ ofiri akyirikyiri pa ɛna waba ɛna wabuilde hye no ama aduru mpɛmpɛnso adura nso nyame adom wabenya mu kyɛfa ti adeɛ bi a wo yɛ bia na wɔ sɛ wo hwɛ sɛ edin no ebɛhye na nyonyam senka ebia ukra o godmother say ebia anwumre yi mekɔ ha na mekɔ akɔ Yeshua enka ebia coaching kakra bi ebebam yɛhwɛ ne esi yi a na akwada ketwa na wugina platform so na wantimi amfa ebuo ni nidie amfa ma ɛyɛ umpanimfo wohwɛ wo mo ana mo wo agro na sina ebi yo maame size ebi yo nana size ebi ye wunuanom mpanimfo enti enka coaching kakra ba mu a enka omo ba kire wo se fa kasa me paatwo wo ye den e kasa asem no na because of say coaching bia mamu ninti no wa hunu sa akwada asem okogina ho a no se mon sorry so ati ase ama nkrofo bebre adwa wo hwe comment section na se a bebre adwa se akwala ketwa wo coachi wo mpanifo se omon sorry na omon ka she wo ka se ya but senka respect bi eba mu a enka bebia beko fine eno ntina me ka ne se edru ba bia esi ne odi akire no hua ne wadi kan ne nante se ne be ya bibia ebeye fine but mo a sebe mo ka se akola no obetimi aye bibia wendi mfa na asem mfiri honko wendi nya ne won ko kire no na awofo no ewo ho kwan se omode akola no ye ne omope no mahunu se yesi papa ya asa awieye bremu papa ya asa so obi ampese obeye papa biem because of aniema bi any comment bi ni nsem bi a bibisi a ebi kanti no na onipa na owo pepa eso obeye nadwuma no obahwe no wate asan nkwala bebre efreme kwala bebre freme pa omope akwanya sane Tracy enyenyo me kura me ka kire Wendy say nka onhwe na onte dancing school enfama nkwada no nti muji di say we obeye biem onyo uji di say musician bi wo ho na akwala bi wo talenta obefa akwala no aboa nana onye eno nti edru ba bi na bibi ba aya momye hwe ho yie ye kasa yem ene se ne ebe address issue afa no aya momye hwe ne yie ne ewiase no boafo ehu na pa enti abusua me de asam no ya meka ne se edru ba bi a aya momye hwe ye niema ayeye ene ye kasa yem se ne ebe ya entwi ni papapafo enko akiri obu ohonom a owo ope se bia ni sika ho adwodo anko betimi de aboa anaso betiti ni mowremu e de aboa akoda bia wo ba no ensem bi se intino nipa no onye nanso bia anko so ni mu a nka nipa no be ya kese pa tibidamu nyina ase obi a wa kire na adwene bia bi atemdidie bi afiri ba ye bia no ni nyina ye ehye omu nyina den ehye ye nyina den ama ye hunu ya namo a ye betutu edamose ami nshira
abusianfo na chese na no incident a esi ye a chese Tracy Shea call a yes sister fear in the program na say yeah when I say Wendy you say she, when I say Tracy you say she, and they say she no e de ensem nyina e bae no eno e na Wendy mama abetwi ma chim say dey tinton time enya ade a ne ba Wendy she e be boa akola bi abiem esan say papa anye hwe a bone nso enye hwe now ensem bi go viral wo Ghana hanum say ya sabre de agate say now so said the when the she ensem no etie no ni nyina ka nsem a go viral wo krodwe mu now mama she de utimi say she's very displeased about the course no enyina sabre ono ababe kire mu ye me sure say ono amba me kire ma ankenya de a sebe when the she kra obabetu nanum to akasa because when the obi a on tie enchire nsem musa mani nemu no Tracy she so de bia wo post when the she edanase any adade nti yenim say if this is really the end of the road there now it is quite a very sad one now yemfree ensem we so na yenkopi ensem foforo mu dia yeni se de enim no ade echi ade ese nyina no na Ghana ye tensem foforo de bia meka say ada ye beda ye be sorry a yente asem foforo no na chese we nyina ye wuwu by June de no obi ewu COVID time implemental suare now ensem a ekoso e wo krodwem hanum sei no efa ensem a yakasa ye mampani His Excellency John Dramani Mahama e da babeto emonten so efa na memmuo a wo mu ebu no jiresie anya se edisuade hunu bi a wo pese wo de eto ho now which screen is all say this must be the last time Ghana goes to IMF for a bailout. And we share other news portals near the Caribbean said this must be the 7th and last time Ghana would go to the IMF. Now, abeye a topic for discussion. Among for said this is a very good one. Say Mampeni John Dramani Mahama ABC stage na ye. Now so ebi say then na ye hu bi da. Yete ha na na Nadu Akufo-Addo ebe ka kire ye say Ghana beyond aid hane eno ene wasi ye build e wo krom ha eni hene ene ehu se sebe wakwa akogina IMF for epono anu a wakwa akoge bosia de abetu kuro ye so ama ye gusu a ye twetwa se kante bi che said this is just a hearsay now so me Mampeni John Dramani Mahama a state meka ne se guidelines strategies ni ade a sebe omo ebe faso a omo ebe jai IMF sikano Jesus according to them no say no omo gusu a omo chane kakra kwata by the end of the year 2026 ne de na ye ne IMF ka ebiem a say ye ne IMF ka biem de a na enya de a sebe ye besan akwakoji sikano ebiem na ye beko na yakotie se de Mampeni ankasa churches ensem we mu efa ye ba ye beto aso.
We're beginning the process of exiting the IMF program with dignity, not as supplicants, but as partners. Our young people are Ghana's greatest assets. We're beginning to see significant growth in sectoral performance. Construction, manufacturing, agriculture, and services are showing very strong growth. This is creating a new opportunity for decent employment for our youth. Infrastructure is the backbone of development. We have begun the rehabilitation of over 2,000 kilometers of roads nationwide. We've restored a consistent supply of electricity and are expanding the rural electrification network to more than 1,000 additional communities. My countrymen and women, Ghana's image on the international stage has been positively boosted by our well-acclaimed reset agenda. This reset involves a new way of looking at things both domestically and globally. We're beginning the process of exiting the IMF program with dignity, not as supplicants, but as partners. Our young people are Ghana's greatest assets. We're beginning to see significant growth in sectoral performance. Construction, manufacturing, agriculture, and services are showing very strong growth. This is creating a new opportunity for decent employment for our youth. Infrastructure is the backbone of development. We have begun the rehabilitation of over 2,000 kilometers of roads nationwide. We've restored a consistent supply of electricity and are expanding the rural electrification network to more than 1,000 additional communities and more efficient administration. It is yielding greater accountability in government and a re-energized fight against corruption. At the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly, I took the advantage of the global platform to share Ghana's vision with the world. The Accra Reset Initiative is a comprehensive framework for the sustainable transformation of our global governance system. This vision will address the inequalities in the current global system and reset it to create greater opportunities for Africa and other countries of the global south. Ghana's call for a global reset will address interconnected challenges of our time, and I'm committed to leading it alongside other world leaders. This is our moment. This is Ghana's moment to lead. To our fellow Africans across this great continent, Ghana's story is a part of Africa's renaissance. The challenges we face are not unique to us. They are the common inheritance of our shared history and the collective responsibility of our shared future. We in Ghana have proved in 2025 that democracy works, that peaceful transitions of power strengthen us rather than weaken us, and that African solutions to African problems are not just slogans but achievable realities. As Ghana rises, we extend our hands to our neighbors and our partners across Africa. Together, we can and shall build the African.
For na Yamampeni, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, any kuti in Sema, or the Eto and Monten. So if I quite on Befaswa or more able me ama a year IMF, you chat to cry, you could be any. Now, we just squeeze this away every goyo official or more a trimmer, not to say and rather ana a yet menada busumi muni de tosun siano and omuche muse or more at a year 4 prizes are ye de be ye duma e ukudrim hano. And the dash wins no so intend super no 10 cedi 0.99 as a cat 1 peso and kaye 11 cedi and a diesel no 11.96 and also a cat 4 pesos nan kaye 12 super sp no 95 near 13.95 near dear na ends a better jape I mean mature full prices see better mountain so no and out to say Ghana for be any idea wo bo o say ebo say said this is a very good one because ebere bi etwamu no na yetimi eto eye super no 17 Ghana cedis e wo kroma enti sende super na dru 10 cedi a na say it's a significant if anything decrease pa na ye hu no and ebere bi etwamu no na yetimi to diesel no at a rate of 23.49 na say Mahama ya de ti wo share screen na we Richmond Roxanne Esquire or say may we never get here especially as a result of gross mismanagement na say wo share date na new fuel prices effective Tuesday 1st November 2022 enti na say sabre no na super ene ye to ne 10 cedi no 17.99 na ka 10 pesos ama no edu 18 cedis and a diesel eno so ene ye to no 11.96 no na enam 23.49 na say utumi say ebre bi etwam na Ghana for na ye bre. This even tells how Ghanaians decided to vote out the New Patriotic Party because so we share a year the ratio was a current figure no any a year the previous figure as at 2022 that should tell you say it was very mad like not a very hectic amount for him say if this should continue with a reduction in VAT is say ama 77 data prices no MTN omo chese omo revise omo prices ni ade anano so ye tete say enyama ye to ne dwom no and also prices be come from ni ade and with this a lot of people of the notion say NDC for etokosoa eye niema say ema niema bo baba from say ya there na che say NPP wo mo ebetena opposition na chepa because as a NDC for are opening Ghanaians omo bie Ghana for ani amomo say sa NPP 40 so no na eyebu ena no omo bu mukom they were pressing your neck very hard to the extent say na yenim se bibia kama so sana we are now seeing the real difference in the NPP administration and the NDC administration at this point. Amafo bebre ebo John Dramani Mahama the president abaso say obon homodem pa because me no kase ye didn't see so ebeka say afe pepe ni 7th January like this and I saw President John Dramani Mahama in as the president of Ghana. Now you share the significant changes are bana na che say utumi say he's in the comfortable lead Ghana for bebre no any eje ne modern bo any najuma oye ede ama oman Ghana. And in view of this, it created a whole lot of conversations near as still now NPP form person mo be dia to say NDC is pulling out and they are doing great and omo bom homodem pa with this. And I'm so ama a year MP for Ofuase Ayerebi and that were the former Minister for Information Yera Kojo Oponkroma Ocean Sema were there to Montinswa way FCT was said the member of parliament for Ofuase Ayerebi Kojo Oponkroma has dismissed claims by the National Democratic Congress that it is responsible for the recent appreciation of the Ghanaian cedi, insisting that the currency's gains began under the previous New Patriotic Party NPP administration. Over to you in the comment section. A year Honorable Kojo Oponkroma NHM said the cedi appreciation began under NPP, not NDC. Inti eneya ye say dollar no 10.5 no. Ye kire mu Honorable Kojo Oponkroma kase cedi ya enya hoden etimi ne dollar yi boot for boot okrom anu. NPP amanyoko ne pencil na omo hu say cedi no na hoden ne eba. Inti wo mo no mo seti bibi ya to honom alignment shishe bibi ya kama nti NDC for omo buy. So ma be bibi o they virtually done nothing. The stress and the struggle NPP going through to put things in order no and our omo ye den omo te swaba and not so obi adwuma den and so mfa so and NDC for enya enei omo pese omo eje eho animonyam ebe omo bo na so enya de omo be penisa amana but I don't say is Kojo Oponkroma say the ebu pa okrom ha asama wu ken obetimi the facts and figures atoto ho but me achechire mu deep down ama ye hu say no crese mo pencil and I see the starting na ho odin na because go and come and tell us something else we ain't mean the windy because one more time no na dollar to a cedi was as far as 17 to 18 cedis. What is the difference between 18 cedis and 10.5? And nay over say more time and a cedi no esha say nya hodin sa same way there ye gitumu a enye yi abusia enzamne de edoso ayebuburuja ebiko echem said the NPP should shut up at this point na chese omunishika omunye din because they say the omukani nyina eye entro now yenko ensem foforo eswa abusiafo Tiger IPI oti Tiger IPI pe na wakai eye Anas Arimiyaw Anas ne wonsem bebre ekoso asebe yebema mu emu update ni ademetre Anas and Tiger IPI. Yet Kroma and Anas eye the number 12 expose by ya man fokoto something AICC Michakra International Conference Center. So omokwa kwahwe number 12 expose ni adebusianfo ya nyantechi say na the president is in my pocket any ade nyina in same way ema nyantechi ni dibra na ekra no okrom ha ebo no won se masa aba betodwa na nso nyantechi aba be kasa wa asemwe hu a wo twem se wen gina ba bi ada anka se sebe o se sebe Anas no akoka se mampani ehye ni botom no ni ba bi Anas ete sansem no efriye nyantechi acheche ni nsemu abusuafo tim se we dey very emotional yenko na yenkotie se de yera nyantechi eche ensem ni mu fire na che se opeso che se Anas betimi the prove any evidence aba se ono nyantechi no ene ekoka se mampani ehye ni botom dia eni oni problem but ono a oye nipa na se be yedi ni din ato asem no mu anase ye de asem na to ne din so ne de obetimi e de ne nse sisimpie nso aka se ono wanka wo baabia da wanjina baabia for once mpo anka se mampani ehye ne botom te se de na eye ensem no ye keka no ewo emonten eso no yanje bre na abushafo yente se de ode nsem no etudwa Anza video no ebeba no ebusiafo ye hwe video ni eba na chese Anas Arimiya Anas nso waba be yi nsem bebra no atwere krata tintintin chese on dey say why na dwen say all magaba all rest but on so be kasa no nso no ho eye press release ni ade wa ye be pensem mu ahwehwe ni nsem ni mu na so no so pese o chese ensem anyantachi keka no ya ade anokra bia ye den ewo mu isanse nyantachi kiremu a Anas entrekese ene eye strategies ne modus operandi ni ade odi adwuma ni nyina no sebe ha adwene enya ade a ede ye di pia wo man man ye ya na se ema wo man etumpo man ye cause kwan a wode ne fa so no sebe eduru ba bi kra no na opese okọ US a enye ye sanse US for eba ne no ni ade na ha adwen pa yentie said odi nsem no etudwa
Me, I can't do anything to him. I don't have the power to do anything to him. I leave him to God. If there is a day of judgment, which I believe there is, it will be an interesting day for us all to present our cases to the Almighty to judge us.
But was it true you had a president in your pocket?
I never said that. Please, I challenge you on this network. Within one day, the end of the day, produce evidence that I said the president was in my pocket. I never said that. I never said that anywhere, but that allegation has gained so much notoriety that it will be illogical for me to even stand up to contradict it. But you are a journalist. Prove it. Call Anas and ask him to give you the evidence before the end of today and publish it for every Ghanaian to see. It was the figment of somebody's imagination just to discredit me and let me look very bad in the eyes of the public. And they succeeded. They succeeded.
tie na chese ochema Anas edinewu because ono se wontimi nye hwe asem na akokota ka de opeso obeka asem wadi awie no and sadly no nso no ensem no na efa eye meka say dru ba bi no say Anas ye investigation ni we represent ma eye the government na take no on any ade it wono de onim da so ogina baabi ka say mampani ehye ni botom nti omo pa omo mfra Anas na omo embusa ne say da ben pa no ono kwasi nyantachi ekoka say mampani ehye ni botom na sansem we na Anas nso aba abonten abusiafo waba be yeye yera kwasi nyantachi ano kama wode press release tin bia ba to monten so na chese otumu say Anas ne brofo omo te say 5 and 6 enti ma wa kan nyina ne say wate say yera kwasi nyantachi de nsem bi etoto monten so a sansem ni nyina no nokre ba ko say kra enimu na adwuma na oye ya na asem na ekodan court no ono Anas no sebe na enye ono eno de kwasi nyantachi court na emom eye aban no ena de kwasi nyantachi ye den ekogina mu ewo court ono de wankwanko gina adaka mu enye se bia adwuma no ye no anye no kre so enu nti na wankwanko gina adaka mu as a witness to testify na emom ameswale wo a owu ye awo mukuni ya besinei yenhu obi a wokuma meswale no eno ena sebe ma no eka ne ho hye ya wentimi empia bonten ama bedi dase esanse yehwem kra na meswale nso eka eye journalist ana sense ntwo form ko yes anhwehwemu ni disa video ni yeden eba ye efa kwesi nyantachi ho enti se ono kra efrimu a na ono Anas no na de ne life be kwa koto cha scale ana enti just screens no so a if Tiger IPL 6 January 2026 press release, the Tiger IPI has taken note once again of a yet another frantic attempt by Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi to peddle misinformation and disinformation about one of the most consequential investigation in Africa football history, number 12. Into muchema omatete se Kwesi Nyantakyi ne na ma wakika nsem bia enye nokre efa number 12 expose na wo mo edeba ye no. I say it is important to place on record that the CEO of Tiger IPI, Anas Arimiyao Anas, had no case against Mr. Nyantakyi in court that he needed to prove. The case before the court was between the Republic of Ghana and Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi, who was being prosecuted for several offenses, including fraud. It is therefore bizarre, though not usual, that Mr. Nyantakyi continues to misrepresent the matter as Anas versus Nyantakyi. Into which I said the Nyantakyi nama watch it and same name woman I say Anas and then a court no. And yes, I net here name a Ghana mind the Republic no and more Eden Kujina court adakim as a besine year Nyantakyi in Yan Huntia say or say Anas offered to testify as a prosecution witness after our lead investigator Ahmed Swali, who had been threatened by Mr. Nyantakyi, was brutally assassinated. Into Muchema, the man Anas Ekoka said Obekwa Kujinada came to testify about Kwesi Nyantakyi no bra obo Ahmed Swali koko se obedi ni dwuma na ewiase na yeku abrante ne yaya. Or say Anas declined to testify only after the trial ruled that he must testify in camera but without a mask. This would have exposed him to grave danger, particularly in a country where the murder of Ahmed Swali remains unresolved. Into a trema de ma afe oka se onko jinada kamu biom ne say court ne ka se so obeba be dia dance dia e wo se ye de eye camera esi ne so no odi adanse na o chem se no so ba ne sa na che se eyi ahwenye o de sinse na nimi nyina no emfaso bia maso because amanfo behu ni nipa ban ya woye na bia no bi etimi akwakodi ne bone. O se Tiger IPI made it clear that Anas's testimony was strictly contingent on his safety, including and revealing his face to Mr. Nyantakyi. This position was non-negotiable. Not so yinanim ema Nyantakyi ehu nanima na enye yi. This case was withdrawn by the Attorney General despite overwhelming evidence of fraud, impersonation, and other criminal conduct. Mr. Nyantakyi was not acquitted on the merit. The case collapsed solely because of flawed prosecutorial decision to discontinue proceedings following Anas's withdrawal. It's not just a mutuema. Assembly Attorney General any year assembly free quarter. Not just say quite do Anase a niema Nyantakyi edi hufo nyina no. Omuja no ema no ekoya omo anye ne hwesa nse na Anas say onkojina adakemu enko dia dance. Abusia ensem ne de aye bebre. Na chese Anas chema interviewer Nyantakyi kwaye ya okokeka nsem bi efa eye number 12 expose ne ho no eno no nso ababonten e de kratawe ababe chechemu. Yenda mo ase ebusiafo se munyabre e de ehwe aha Pinax TV.